How's it going? I'm Ryan, and today I'm going to go over the two trades I took. One on SPY, one trade on QQQ. Both were winners. We'll jump into those real quick. We're looking at SPY here on the daily time frame. Last Friday we had a breakout of all-time highs. All-time highs was around 480. That's what this level is. We broke out. As you can see, really the only levels relevant to today that we had were a pre-market high and Friday's high a day. Like I said, we also traded QQQ, so we can pull that up. Similar situation, however, we did break above all-time highs, so no levels up here to chart necessarily. We have a pre-market high, which correlated with the high of the day, and we had the high of the day from yesterday as well. So that's kind of what we were looking at heading into both days. Let's jump into it. So, looking at last Friday, we broke out of all-time highs. There was all-time highs, broke out of that. Looked pretty strong in the after hours and pre-market, holding above Friday's high day. When we opened up, we had this pre-market level here, this pre-market high. When we opened up the day, we opened up pretty strong, coming down and testing this pre-market high, pushing back up, coming down, testing that pre-market high again. This is where I entered my first trade of the day. I want to throw on the 9 EMA because it did play a little bit of a part in taking this trade here. So when we came down, we pushed below the pre-market high a little bit. We pushed down and we tested that 9 EMA. I entered, once we test that 9 EMA, we started to reverse back, and I entered 2 calls in this area once we held that 9 EMA. My stop loss, excuse me, was a break below this low here and a break below the EMA. So I was entering in here pretty close to where I would stop out if we broke and fell below that EMA. I am going to remove this real quick. We'll hop over the 2-minute as well so we can take a look at what I was watching there. So what really convinced me was watching on the 5-minute, us come down and hold that EMA. But what also convinced me is we have this increase in volume here, right? Volume is increasing as we come into this level. And on this high volume candle, we come down and test this level and close above it. We got that on both the 5-minute and the 2-minute. So if we take a look at the 5-minute here, we got that come down, test, and close above it on pretty good volume on the 5-minute. So we got that confirmation on 5 and 2-minute there, holding that level with some volume. Additionally, we also can look at what happened last time we came down to test that pre-market high. We came down and buyers stepped in pretty immediately. So we knew buyers were in this area. It was an area that we pinged off of about 3 times in the pre-market, broke it with some strength, came back down into that area, showed some buyers were there, held it on both the 5 and the 2-minute time frame with increasing volume. And we had the 9 EMA there. It's a mouthful, but that was all the reasons why I got into calls here. Got into calls here, and I took both of them off at this previous high. So once we pushed up here, we see volume decreasing here, which concerned me, and that's why I took both contracts off here. Initially, I took one contract off as we came up to the previous high a day, but as I saw us continuing to lower volume, so on this candle, just continuing to have these upper wicks and lower volume, although we weren't reversing, I took both contracts at profit here, thinking that we might get a reversal, that this bounce here was a little weak. Shortly after I sold, we do get a surge in volume there and create a new all-time high. From there, we kind of double top and chop around for the rest of the day. We did break down one thing that I was watching. I did not take this trade, but it happened absolutely beautiful. Was this area that we found support in about 3 times. 1, 2, 3 times here. Broke through with some volume. Look at that volume. Broke through with some volume, came up, retested it, and continued that sell-off. That was a beautiful setup. It was also a bear flag as well, if you want to look at that. We sold off. We had a bear flag into this, I guess what would be a supply zone, having previously been a demand zone. So absolutely beautiful textbook trade here. I did not take this. I wish I did. That was a beautiful move. I just figured I'd call that out. I did watch it happen, and I did not take it. But that was a nice setup. Very nice. From the rest of the day, we didn't quite get down to Friday's high. We kind of bounced around. Yeah, today kind of had that story, right? We were a little bit rangy up in here, just sporadically bouncing up and down in here, about like a $1 range or maybe less, 80-cent range. Broke down and then continued to do about the same, right? About a $1 range or so that we just bounced around in. So you could definitely play that range. You could play, you could look at the top of this range here and take puts around this area. That would have played nice. Or you could take calls down in this area. I did not trade any of this, but just kind of pointing out how the price moved and how you can respond to that. So that was my one trade on SPY. I took 2 contracts, sold both of them at the previous high a day. And yeah, it was a solid return. I think percentage-wise, it was in the 30s or low 40s. It was around 40%, so pretty solid. The second trade that I took today was on QQQ. So QQQ in the morning was a lot weaker than SPY. While SPY was holding above the pre-market high, QQQ set that high a day right at that pre-market high. We came up, tested it, and rejected pretty seriously right off of it. That would have been a beautiful trade. I was not watching QQQ right off the open, but wow, it really moved. It dropped multiple dollars. That would have been an insane move on QQQ had you caught that. Another move that was really nice is we started forming this wedge. We broke out and kind of continued that sell-off. We also had another bear flag here where we sold off. We broke that wedge, sold off, flagged, and then sold back down into the previous high of day, or not previous high of day, Friday's high of day, the previous day's high of day, we should say. So didn't take any trades there on QQQ on this drop. It was really nice. I was expecting us to drop and retest, at which point I was looking for a put for continuation down to the high of Friday. We did not get that, however. The trade that I did take on QQQ, and this was just a really small scalp, was I took calls down here and I trimmed once we pushed up. This is a quick 20% return. I only took 1 contract, having had a solid winner on the day already. I didn't want to give back gains. But this was a level I was watching for, and we had a pretty vicious sell-off. I was expecting us to get a bounce. Had it looked a bit more like this, that was a pretty nice, about a $2 move or so, maybe a little less than a $2 move, $1.50. That would have been a really nice gainer, but I trimmed on this first push up. Why did I take this? Well, we could look at the 5-minute initially, and then we'll come back and look at the 2-minute. On the 5-minute, we came down and we tested on increasing volume, right? We have increasing volume coming into this level, and we hold it on the 5-minute. And then likely on the 2-minute as well. We come down on increasing volume and hold it on the 2-minute, forming a hammer at that level. That gave me confidence to get in here. And yeah, like I said, we had a quick bounce. It was about a 50-cent move. Took the 20% profit and called it a day. So that was just a quick scalp. Obviously, trading counter the trend. We were looking pretty weak all day. Another reason why I didn't size into this or try to hold for longer. You can see we did come back and retest Friday's high day and then kind of made our way up higher. This would have been a much better move. However, a quick 20% scalp in a few minutes is good enough for me, especially after I already had a winner. Those are the 2 trades I took. You can see QQQ tested Friday's high day a number of times and kind of bounced around similar to SPY in that $1 to $2 kind of range. That leads us into tomorrow. We have held Friday's high day. We got that run up and that pull back into Friday's high day on both charts. And we'll see if we break down further, if we continue our way up from there. But at least we have some levels around us to go off of. That's all I have for you. Those are the 2 trades that I took. Thank you for watching. I do trade live Monday through Friday, so I'll be here on this channel trading live. If you want to stop by, say what's up, please do. That's all I have. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace out.